So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. What if Naruto was the big daddy of Konoha? Movie 3. Whispers followed them down the street. People pointed at the two little boys, one with scarlet-like hair that hung down his head and framed his face, the other with blonde hair and a top knot and two red bangs tied up into that knot to give him small horns made of hair. They looked so adorable, which many pointed out, but yet they were contaminated by being around demons and Jinchuriki so much. Haku glanced nervously as Obito Haddock and Naruyamino glared at them as the Konoha native children chewed on dango. Mizo ignored them, knowing full well that he usually got those glances from people whenever he and his father visited an ally village. But Haku was different. He had grown up being loved and cared for by his father and whoever he had met on his travels. To have someone giving you stares full of hatred was frightening and disheartening. Especially if you are only 5 years old. Haku could feel the tears beginning to swell up in his eyes. Mizo however was oblivious to his friend's plight to fight back the burning hot tears, which would soon begin to roll down his face. Haku-kun, not long now, Mizo told him as they passed by a dark-haired man. He looked in their direction, curiously narrowing his gray eyes. Next to him a brown-haired woman clung onto his arm. At their feet a 5-year-old boy looked over following the dark-haired man's gaze. "2 cent," he spoke. "Who were those?" 00000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000 bastard, but with a little more swear words that could ever be written down in a tier-rated fanfic. "Relax, Caillou, when this is all over we'll go back to the farm, you can go back to throwing parties and living off my money," Naruto assured him. He didn't notice or pretended anyway, the looks on the council members' faces when they had come to release Naruto. "You're lucky I'm human now, or it'd kill you all." "Shut up, Caillou. Most of your chakra resides in me and Haku now anyway. Besides, you don't know any jutsus other than the hell portal." The council members looked at each other with worried eyes. Naruto did notice this and let a smirk escape his lips. "Just you wait, Uzumaki." "Oh, I'm shivering in my boots." Anbu began to lead Naruto away as Kyuubi began singing to annoy his guards. "I know a song that'll get on your nerves, get on your nerves, get on your nerves. I know a song that'll get on your nerves, and y'all all go mad." The blonde rolled his eyes as the door shut behind him. Gaara followed, accompanying the blonde out of the Anbu Detainment Center. "So where to next?" "Haku and Mizo could be anywhere," Naruto asked Gaara as they stepped out into the open sun. "I don't know. The manga store, next to the gateway to the Nara Ranch," Gaara informed Naruto as they began to walk. "Nara Ranch, but Mizo said something about Auntie Temo." "I was right. Shikamaru and Tamari did get together." "I knew it. Kyuubi owes me $50. Gaara rolled his eyes. "Why do I get the feeling that it was your good luck that got them married?" "Because it was probably a dominant factor. That and I remembered Tsunade betting they'd never get together. When you think about it, you can blame me, the old hag, and your sister and brother-in-law. Let me guess, you had to pay for the wedding. That woman wanted a 10-foot-tall wedding cake, a horse carriage, a honeymoon in Twa country, a new dress and a large ceremony. Of course I had to pay for it. The bride's family always have to pay, according to her." Naruto snickered, seeing a tick mark on Gaara's forehead. "When your face goes like that, you remind me of Pinky." This continued to cause Gaara's tick to enlarge. "Come on, before Haku tries to use Warwick no Jutsu on someone who give him a funny look." "Arg!" someone yelled as numerous fountains of blood spurted through the air of Konoha. The late Naruto stated as the two ran after where the blood originated. 0000000000000000000. Mizo stood in awe at the parade of naked men and women Haku had conjured up with one-hand seal. "Bakas." The blonde cried as countless bodies lay on the ground, occasionally twitching. Mizo watched as Heika's henge clones disappeared and one Haku stood where about 30 naked people had previously been before. "That was awesome, Haku-kun. Do it again." But tired Haku whined to his self-appointed cousin. "Come on, Haku Ikoto." "Party pooper," Mizo declared as the two continued to walk away down the street. Haku didn't feel like whining. It was 5 minutes later that the two of them found themselves standing outside a purple-roofed building with a cardboard cutout of an orange-haired guy in a black kimono holding a sword that was really big. Haku looked at it and smiled. "They have the new bleached tankobon," he exclaimed to Mizo. "You get to read them?" Haku nodded in reply. Mizo pouted, aggravated. "That's bull. 2-sen won't let me anywhere near it and no one will sell it to me cause I'm not over 12. Haku saw the look in his friend's face before he grew a nasty smirk across his delicate features. Henge. Now instead of Haku stood a 12-year-old version of Naruto with wild hair and the two bangs framing his face. The triad of dots were still on his cheeks, but he now wore a pair of blue jeans that civilians like to wear, with those things called sneakers, a black cotton shirt with the sleeves rolled up to the elbows. Over that was a buttoned-up silk shirt in orange. You guys were waiting for an Uzumaki in orange. I was, with those sleeves rolled up to his biceps. Although he looked like his father, he had a more Bishan in appearance than anyone else. Mizo caught the devilish smirk plastered on the lips of the older version of Haku. The blonde walked right into the manga store to be greeted by the vast array of DVDs and tankobon volumes. Mizo followed him in and felt shivers run up his spine. Mizo Haku spoke. How much money do you have on you? He asked. Mizo looked at him before responding 30,000 ryo. It was quite a bit, but Haku pulled out a whale-shaped wallet. It bulged and seemed to nearly rip from the seams. Haku opened it to reveal that the only thing in there were notes of ryo. Oh, we're gonna have some fun, Haku said. 20 minutes later, Mizo and the older Haku walked out with arms full of DVDs and tankobons. Mizo somehow managed to carry the entire collection of the first 7 seasons of Bleach DVD, a stack of Rei Earth and Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles tankobon volumes. It was amazing how a 5-year-old could carry that much. Haku however carried a lot more: Bleach tankobons, DN Angel, and a manga series called Fushigi Yugi Genbu Kaiden. Wow, Haku-kun, you haven't even dented your wallet, Mizo noted. It's only my allowance for the last 3 weeks, Haku replied. Misa's eyes grew wide. Nani? Haku smiled down on Mizo. My 2 cent gambles for a living. I get an allowance of 40,000 ryo every week. We Uzumakas have the luck of leprechauns and honest casinos, and we both know that an honest casino is rare. Haku remained in his adult form as they walked through the streets, causing some people to stop, stare and act like human Venus flytraps. Haku looked gorgeous in his teen form. Suddenly Haku felt the urge to transform himself into his gruesome old man self, the one that repels people from Oglinfadom. However, soon Naruto and Gaara showed up. Naruto raised an eyebrow as Haku disappeared in a plume of smoke to reveal Chibineru. Gaara noticed the purchases that were stacked in Misa's arms. Mizo, did you spend all of your money at that otaku shop? Gaara asked dangerously. Mizo desperately shook his head. No, 2-san. Haku-kun paid for it all. He said they're make-up birthday presents. We need to get him some stuff as well. Gaara looked over to Naruto, who held up his arms from the elbow down and shrugged. Haku just smiled sheepishly. Well, I had to, Gaara-sama. Mizo is being so nice to me. And friends buy friends gifts to show friendship. Noriko told me that. Noriko is a shopaholic, a kleptomaniac and a materialist prima donna, Haku-chan, Naruto replied. Of course he said that. Still, it is nice of you to do that. Naruto rubbed his son's hair, which was now once again contained by the hairband that had constantly been on his head. Why don't you ever let your hair down, Chibineru? Naruto asked. You looked goof with it all messy. But I want to be like 2-san. Chibineru whined. Naruto gave his son a sweet smile before picking up his son, letting the collection fall to the ground. Say, Chibineru, where is Kyubi? As if on K, the floating fox head-like soccer ball appeared in a sound that was reminiscent of a firework. Kyubi, can you take care of this stuff, please? Naruto asked the floating object. The bowl opened where the mouth was painted on and sucked the tankobon and DVDs into its mouth. Our stuff. Mizo cried. Chibineru chuckled. Naruto knelt down and patted Mizo on the head. Don't worry, Mizo-chan. Kyubi is special. You could put all of Konoha and Suna in its mouth, everything within the walls, heck even the walls themselves, and they's barely make a dent in it. It's a pocket dimension. It grows every time Heika's birthday rolls around. Don't worry, it's nice in there. One time I spent a month in there with Haku as a holiday. That was true. Naruto and Haku had accidentally sucked in an uncharted island and had stayed in Kyubi for a month. The island was still in the ball. Kyubi can change into anything Haku wants. It only works for him. Kyubi recognizes his chakra and it reads his mind to find out what he wants. It's really cool. Gaara looked at Naruto strangely. Let me guess, you're Biju? Yep. Do you think Shikaku would have done the same for Mizo? Don't see why not. The demon containers love the kids of their Jinchuriki. Yujito-chan told me that Nibi spoils Usagi-chan constantly. How is Yujito and Usagi anyway? Gaara asked. Naruto shrugged. Fine. They're in the land of demons now. She was a mercenary until 2 years ago. Now she's just stud farmer. The four walked down the road with Kyubi in Heika's arms. Naruto, do you have anywhere to stay tonight? Gaara asked out of the blue. Naruto shook his head. Nah. We've spent most of our time in the Anbu headquarters. I was supposed to ask for a place from the Hokage, but I forgot with Kyubi and everything. Gaara nodded. Why? Gaara looked into his friend's face. I was wondering if you would like to spend the night at the cage suite in our hotel. Kenkuro is staying with Tamari. Our bodyguard is to escort Mitsuri back home tonight. She is needed to organize our genin exam in 3 days. We have the room, you can have one of the other rooms, and Mizo can share with Haku. He has never had a slumber party before and I think it would be beneficial for them to have child time. As long as I can be sure they'll be safe. You are talking about a child who can manipulate sand to kill and shield instantly and another, your own son, who could possibly massacre Konoha with that hentai jutsu of yours or persuade any foes to turn themselves in with his kawaii jutsu. Oh, you heard about that. I advise you not to allow any young women who are partial to cute children near your son. Or, when he is older, not to let him near any hormonal teenager, male or female. All the while Haku and Mizo were oblivious to the adults' chatter as they read through a chapter of Genbu Kaden. Wow, he has to control the one by turning into a girl. Haku said. Sugoi. Can you do that as Warchan? Mizo asked. Haku replied negatively. 0000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000 So far the blonde woman found herself blushing, nose bleeding, sweating, stuttering and all the while getting generally aroused by the ex-demon lord who had explained, in the sexistly Hansed way, that he was remorseful for his actions and wished to be forgiven for his crimes against the people of Konoha. Now he just stood there as Tsunade explained to the council the situation. Kyuubi had come clean about his power. He and Naruto had lied about the power of 3 cages and admitted that it was on the level of a Sannin. A couple of council members breathed a sigh of relief at this, but some were still cautious. But Kyuubi reminded them that he only knew the Hell Portal Jutsu, reserved for demons or ex-demons only. The council members soon left leaving Tsunade alone with Kyuubi. As the door closed he leaned down face to face with her. Well Tsu-chan, you wanna go get something to eat? He asked sexily. You know the voice that makes your legs go weak and your teeth to chatter. That voice. The voice that made Tsunade consider the offer before she punched. No. I have work to do. Paperwork? Use the shadow clones. If Shizune can create a small regiment, then I'm pretty sure you can do almost as many as her, if not more. I have a meeting. With who? No one else is coming into Kano today, and a clan meeting hasn't been arranged. How do you know that? You people really need to buff up your security around record rooms. Before I went to see Naruto I got details on every mission you ever went on. By the way, loved the picture of you dressed as Sailor Moon. Why ever did you cut your hair? We had to infiltrate a cosplay convention where our target was. Still, Jiraiya didn't need to add a picture of you in the report, though I must congratulate him on getting a shot of your strawberry printed underwear. What? And Orochimaru as Sailor Neptune and him as Sailor Uranus. Awkward. I knew Orochimaru had a thing for dressing like a girl but Jiraiya. Those shots were fantastic. Kyuubi however found himself up against the wall held by the fist of a pissed of Hokage. Hey now don't do something you're gonna regret. How am I gonna regret castrating you? She asked venomously. Because then you might not have kids. Care to run that through me again? Kyuubi gave her a sly smirk. Will you marry me? Pervert. Kyuubi found himself flung through the door of the Hokage office. Ow. Hey how am I a perv? I asked you. I didn't leer, I had no lecherous thoughts, I don't just wanna get you into bed. I happen to like strong women and you're sorta turning me on right about now the redhead stated as a tickle of blood began to fall down his nose. Tsunade only began to grow even more flushed. Run before I send you on Knuckle Sandwich Airlines back to Yumi. How about next week? Ill cook. I owned a restaurant back in Yumi a while ago. Gave it to a friend of mine. I cook a mean dinner. Shizune suppressed a giggle at his antics. Here was an ex-demon, probably thousands of years old, flirting with the Hokage of Konoha. An ironic thing about it was that neither of them looked their natural age. Instead they looked like they were in their early 20s. It was sort of like watching a soap opera or what she had heard from Kakashi, reading Icha Icha out loud for them all to hear in their house. 00000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000 Why has the Kyuubi not taken you or Haku away from Konoha yet? Probably just wants to flirt with Tsunade. Tomari is an excellent cook Tsunade. Plus I promise not to leave. And so far there is only one promise I have never and will never keep, and I'd like to keep it that way. Naruto and Gaara continue to eat the cake set out in front of them. Temari is an excellent cook, Naruto noted. Gaara shook his head. No. It is my nephew, Fuijin, and his sister Fuuko, who have the culinary arts in our family. Temari just likes to take credit for it. Naruto took another bite of cake. You know what's ironic? Gaara shook his head. No, what? But your title, Kazukiage, is just like your sister's marriage. She's a wind user married to a shadow user. They could have named their kids either that, or if they had one, just name it Kazukiage and say it was the combination of their styles. Gaara's sweat dropped. You have grown random in your years of exile, Naruto. The blonde grinned cheekily. Well, it's true. Anyway, another ironic thing is, Ara moaned as Naruto continued speaking. Shikamaru got what he wanted. A wife, granted Chess not plain like he wanted, but Hess got 2 kids, twins, 1 boy, 1 girl, now all he has to do is grow old and die in bed before he finally accomplishes his dream. Ara simply rolled his eyes. He and Naruto were dressed in nightwear now, and Naruto had let his hair fall down into its messy form. Naruto had almost had a heart attack seeing Gaara in red nightpants and a black t-shirt with cookie printed on the front. It had been hilarious at first, but he soon got used to it. So, you gonna stick around? When I win I'll come over to Suna and we'll have a party. February is Heika's birthday. The sauce also. February 13th Naruto said to Gaara. The red-headed Kazekage slapped his forehead. Are all Jinchuriki cursed with certain things? Both our sons share a birthday. RSHN Jimmy Naruto said. Wow, we're both ostracized, we both had food fetishes, our children resemble us, our wives and our demons, there are opposites in certain areas, and they share a birthday. I think it's the same for Usagi-chan and Yujito. Gaara shook his head. Dusan a voice rang from the bedroom. Naruto turned to see Haku standing there in an orange frog sweet pair of PJs. I can't sleep. I keep seeing Auntie Kayu with Basan. Naruto looked up to the sky for a second before giving off a shudder. Hold on for a minute Haku-chan. K. When Haku had returned to the room Naruto turned to Gaara menacingly. Leave my half of the cake alone he said before standing up and entering the bedroom. Gaara grinned and tried to grab a slice of Naruto's half. Don't even think about it. Naruto called from the other room. Gaara flinched and retreated his finger. Gaara resigned to munching on his slice of cake before a song rang through his ears. At first it was a beautiful tune before it slipped into lyrics. When it spoke Gaara recognized it as Naruto's voice. He stood up and walked quietly over to the door where he gazed in through the ajar door. Omen nasunao janakut, no nakanari eru, shiku kaira wa shudo sunzen, imasugu itayo, nakataku naru namun rado, enwamo dekanai midanado, at junju daoshiyu, hado wa manjakyu, suki no hikari nai machibikar, nando mo maguriao, seiza no matataki kazo, iranakoi no yukyu, anaji kuni nai umareta no, mirakuru ramansu, ichido futari de uyakuendo, amasama kanit happy endo, genzai keiko mirai mo, anatanai kubatake, itatoki no natsakashi, mandazashi was suranai, ikusenman no hashi Kara, Anada wo Mitsukararu, Uzan mo chansu nai karu, Ikakata ga suki yo, Bashigi na kaseki karosu shite, Nando mo Magurio, Seiza no Matataki kazo, Iranakoi no yukyu, Anaji kuni na umareta no, Wirakuru ramansu, Shinjide ira no, Wirakuru ramansu. Ara listened quietly to the song and closed his eyes to the beat. Then Naruto began to sing again, only this time in a different language. It was beautiful nonetheless. He could feel the sense of a warm feeling grasping his heart. Images of stars and the moon ran through his mind, not only that, but images of Naruto and the woman he had seen in a picture of Naruto, who the blonde had pointed out had been his wife. I'm sorry I'm not honest, I can say it while I'm dreaming, my thoughts are on the verge of overloading, I want to see you right now, moonlight makes me want to cry, at midnight I can't call you, but I'm so devoted, what should I do, my heart is a kaleidoscope, ushered by the light of the moon, we meet again over and over, the sparkling lights of the constellations predict the whereabouts of love, born on the same planet, a miracle romance. Once again, on a weekend, we're together, a happy ending granted by the gods, the present, past, and future, I'm completely devoted to you, that time when we met, that dear, look you'll never forget, among millions of stars ill can you, coincidences becoming chances, I like this way of life, a strange miracle crosses over, we meet again over and over, the sparkling lights of the constellations predict the whereabouts of love, born on the same planet, a miracle romance. Do you believe in it? A miracle romance. As the song finished Gaara felt the sadness and sorrow in Naruto's voice. It was obvious who Naruto was singing about. His wife, Isaribi. Heika's mother. It was probably a way for the small child to get to sleep. The re-edited Kazekage even heard the smaller blonde hum the tune for the song in his sleep. He immediately sensed movement and backed away from the door. As he sat down once again the door opened to reveal Naruto with watery eyes. They're both asleep now he noted to Gaara. Gaara listened intently to his friend's breathing as it hitched in his throat. So what do you think of the song, Gaara? Naruto asked the re-edited. So Naruto knew he had overheard it. Probably because he noticed the door was opened and Gaara had probably heard it through there. Gaara looked down silently. It was beautiful he replied. Isaribi and I wrote it. She wanted to have a go at writing a song, but she had a terrible singing voice, but it always made me happy. And damn she was a good songwriter. I sang that to Haku every night after she died for a year, but we always sing it for special occasions. Sort of her legacy, you know. Haku told me he was gonna pass it down. Family heirloom and all that jazz. Gaara nodded empathically. It is sweet. You and him. That song. You could win competitions with that voice of yours. Naruto nodded. Gaara suddenly felt the urge to ask an important question. Oh no, Naruto. may I ask? How and why did Isaribi send I? Gaara asked as Naruto gazed at his cake in front of him. Naruto shook his head as he allowed a single tear to fall down his face. Ramen, he stated simply. Gaara's face screwed up into one of confusion. Ramen. Naruto looked Gaara dead straight in the eye and said, yeah, turns out the fish experiments by Orochimaru have some sort of allergic reactions to ramen. Sometimes prolonged in the case of Isa-chan, sometime instantly. If it's prolonged, then you won't know, so you won't stop eating ramen. We had it 2 times a week. After a couple of years, it started to show on Isaribi. It was too late by then. Haku has a watered-down version. He just gets sick. But Isa-chan didn't have a chance. Since then I have vowed never to eat ramen again for Heika's sake and for Isaribi's memory. That is incredibly sappy, Naruto-sama. Naruto looked at him confounded. Naruto-sama. Where did that come from? Gaara looked Naruto in the face and said in an honest tone, you are my teacher. You saved me 3 times. Once from myself and my demon, another time from the clutches of the Takumi village, and lastly from the Akatsuki. I know others have helped, he said the last bit quickly as Naruto began to protest, but it is you who has saved me most times. I will never forget our friendship, Naruto-sama. The sound of summer drifted into the hidden village of Konoha. Children played in the playgrounds and parks, Jounin reported in to get missions and to pick up their teams. Some Chunins went to teach at the academy, others journeyed on to missions. Gaara Subaku walked side by side his old friend Naruto, with their respective sons, in front of them reading a manga that the floating fox head of a soccer ball, Kyubi had extracted from his mouth. So that's what Orihime can do? Control time through those flowers? Mizo asked. Haku nodded. Hi, Orihime-chan is cute, she has cool powers like anti-Kayu, and Chess like Tusan. Chess always happy unless someone she loves is hurt. And Tusan once said he liked her chest for some reason. Naruto and Gaara froze upon hearing this. It wasn't something you should spread about, especially with several dangerous kunoichis in the vicinity. Haku, don't say that again in public, okay? Naruto told his son, slightly shivering under the fear-inducing glares he was receiving from women on the street who had overheard what Naruto thought about the character. After that the 4 hurried to reach the Hokage's office, where they were supposed to meet up with Tsunade and other officials visiting Konoha no Sado. Haku and Mizo had no idea why they were going so fast to reach the Hokage tower. Within the space of 5 minutes the 4 found themselves outside one of the meeting rooms with Naru, Obito and other children waiting outside, with a Jounin Naruto recognized as Konohamaru. The grandson of the 3rd Hokage gave the blonde and Enrite a glare before speaking. Hokage-sama waits you inside. Please leave you children out here. Naruto turned to Mizo and Haku. Okay, you two. Kyubi will keep an eye on things, but I need you two to protect each other if anything goes awry, okay? The 2 nodded as Gaara knocked on the door. Come in, a voice called from the other side. Gaara opened the door and both he and Naruto entered. A large table had been set up with many Konoha-nins waiting. Sakura, Sasuke, Tenten, Sai, Niji, Hinata, Ino, Shikamaru, Tamari, Shino, Kiba, Yamato, Shizune, Kakashi, Kurenai, Guy, Lee, Tsunade, Hiashi, Kaharu, Hamura, Chao's and a kid with brown hair and red eyes, whom Naruto had never met before, who sat close to Kurenai. Guess who it is? Ah, welcome, Kazuki-sama, Naruto Tsunade greeted. The pair sat down at the end of the table, with Gaara giving his sister a look which promised a demand for explanations. Hokage Dono, may I ask, why have you summoned both me and Naruto-san here? Gaara asked. Tsunade looked towards Naruto with a glare. We are here to persuade Naruto into joining us and forgetting the challenges. Forget it, Naruto drawled. I may have been blackmailed into going along with this, but I promise you I will not stay in this village when I win. I no longer have any ties to you people, he said you with a large amount of distaste in his voice. Why the hell have you brought me here in the first place? Sasuke growled and stood up. Because you are the Toad Sannin, dope. We need you here. Naruto scoffed. I haven't summoned a single toad since I left 10 years ago. I think there's a time limit you can go without summoning before the contract is annulled unless you die, at least I hope. Hiashi narrowed his eyes. He may no longer be the head of the Hyuga, but he still retain a place on the council. He would leave us to die in our time of need. Why the hell are the foreigners angry anyway? Sakura shot a nervous look at Tsunade before the Hokage responded. Kusa and Oda want out land, Kumo wants revenge, and the Hyugas buy Akigan and Iwa wants someone's life. Naruto rolled his eyes. Well, here's a solution. Give Kumo a Hyuga to breed as a peace seal. Send the guy Iwa want for execution and have the allies wipe Kusa and Odo off the map. Shizune shot Tsunade a nervous glance. Naruto caught this. Oh, I get it. It's someone important. Who is it? Some loser with a stick shoved up his ass. Probably Sasuke. It's not me, Dobe, Sasuke said with a glint in his eye. It's the son of the Yondaime Hokage. Naruto scowled deeply. They'll have to get in line. I want a piece of the Yondaime's blood anyway, the bastard. Eyes widened at this statement. I hate the yondaime, and as far as I'm concerned why should his son be any importance to me anyway? Naruto, I know what the yondaime did was, oh yeah, stick a demon in an orphan's gut. Then off and die leaving the kid to get beaten and banished with 2035 assassination attempts by the time the kid was 5, most done by villagers. Yeah, now that's what I call a hero, Naruto said sarcastically. So woe's the guy they want. You, Naruto, Sasuke added smugly. The room froze, as if time itself stopped at that moment. Naruto abruptly stood up and walked out the door. Seconds later a long scream from said blonde could be heard all the way in Suna. Loud crashes and explosions erupted from behind the door. Kakashi sweat dropped until he and everyone else in the room heard a string of swear words so long, disgusting, horrible and so physically impossible that it would make Taiya either proud or blush like a Sasuke fangirl. That man's a father? Tamari asked as everyone else blushed at what they could hear. Naruto walked in, with a face that would scare the Shinigami shitless. There is no effing way I am relented to that bastard. This is just another one of your tricks, Konoha scum. He yelled. Even Kakashi shrunk under his gaze, but even Hinata scowled when he insulted them and their village. Gaara just remained impassive throughout the whole thing. He is not my father. No way in goddamn hell am I related to that son of a bitch, Naruto raged. Tsunade stood up abruptly and scowled at Naruto. That son of a bitch is your father, Naruto. Don't forget that. I hate him. There is no way could a father give their own son up to a great demon. A demon known as Konohagakure. The room caught on to what he was saying. Kyuubi wasn't the demon, Konoha was for ostracizing a child just because some village leader put a demon monster into his stomach, then died leaving you to the mercy of people who hated the very air you breathed. As far as I'm concerned he can rot in hell, Naruto yelled as he stood up. He made his way to the door. Be ready for when we fight losers, cause when we do y'all all die. That much I can promise, he said before sending a death glare at Tsunade and Sasuke. You won't dare, Tsunade insisted. Try me, bitch. Naruto was abruptly followed by Gaara before the blonde slammed the door shut. Sasuke growled and threw his glass of sake at the door, smashing it as it made contact. Tsunade frowned at Sasuke before muttering something about wasting good sake and that he would be cleaning it up. 000000000000000000000. Outside, Naruto soon found Haku sitting alone with Mizo as other kids pointed at the small child who played with Kyuubi. Haku threw the fox-like soccer ball at Mizo, who caught it expertly. As soon as Naruto walked in he was met by a gold glare from Konohamaru, who sat sharpening a kunai. Mizo. Gaara called out to his son, come. We're leaving. Bring Haku, will you? The redhead nodded before taking Heika's hand and leading him away, Kyuubi safely tucked under the blonde's arm. As Naruto turned to leave, Konohamaru spoke up to his once idol. Uzumaki. I want a word with you, the brown-haired Chunin stated. Naruto turned to him before speaking. I've got a word for you. Two, in fact. Sod. Off. Had the children not been there, Konohamaru would have lunged at Naruto. As Naruto turned to leave he came face to face with the 10-year-old from before. I've been meaning to ask. Aren't you a bit young to be in a high-profile meeting like that? Naruto asked as he passed. If my cousin wants to talk to you, let him, the kid growled. Naruto snorted before walking away. I take it you're Asuma's kid, Kurene's to no doubt. Word of advice. Stay out of my way. I don't hate you, but I don't like you either. Don't do what the adults are doing cause they'll end up dead, Naruto told the boy. The Sarutobi child stood unmoving as the Kazekage, his son, his best friend and his son left. 00000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000 develop some patience to recover from certain stress. But today she was off the clock but came for a social visit. It wasn't anybody special. Just her brother. Not many people knew that the famed Inoichi Yamanaka had a love affair years before he met his wife, well they did now anyway. He had a son with Itsuchikage herself before war broke out between Iwa and Konoha. That boy grew up no better than a Jinchuriki. Hated for being half of them and half of a Konoha citizen. Everyone in Iwa knew who his father was and it wasn't until Inoichi found records did he know either. Of course by that time his son was in a coma from a fight with a Sharingan. The unknown Yamanaka was labeled a missing nin after his mother was assassinated and the new Godim Tsuchikage was put in office. 10 years from his fight with Sasuke Uchiha, Tadari Yamanaka still hadn't woken up from his coma. Ino sat with her brother every day when she wasn't on missions. Of course nothing could stop her from trying to reach him. Although they hadn't officially met in the real world yet, Ino used her mind jutsus to enter her brother's mind and talk to him, even though he was his younger self. Sitting on a stool before the bed Ino formed her hands into the classic hand sign for the Yamanaka mind jutsus. Seconds later her body slumped as she entered his mind. As Naruto steered his way through the streets he couldn't shake the feeling he was being followed. It was a familiar feeling, and the aura of his stalker was so familiar it was uncanny. Finally, as he stepped in an alleyway he called out to his follower. "Alright Itachi, you can come out now," he called out. The wind howled and the presence became clearer to Naruto than ever before. Before he turned he knew Itachi had already materialized behind him. "How's AM and the Lilin?" Naruto asked his one-time enemy. "Good," Itachi replied. "Haku. That's doing fine. Got a friend in Mizo now." "What is it with Raymond names?" Itachi asked, a coy smirk appearing on his face. Naruto shrugged. "I'm not the only one. Mizo, Haku, Naruyamino and your kid here." He turned to face Itachi. "How are the Eternal Mangekyous treating you?" The blonde asked. "I can never thank you enough for taking the eye out of Madara and using Kaiba's powers for the second one," Itachi said, opening his eyes to reveal the Mangekyo Sharingan. "You don't have to. Madara was a bastard. Especially towards Obito. I hate body snatcher like that." "How are Obito and Rin?" Itachi asked, concerned for his distant cousin's welfare. "Madara hasn't resurfaced. Obito's Sharingan eye is working alright, he keeps it just at the basic level so's as not to go blind, and Hess adamant that he doesn't need the Eternal. Rin's still pitching a fit whenever Hess late and Lil Tachi's taken to wearing goggles on his forehead." Itachi nodded, placing a hand on Naruto's shoulder. "Conan. Jiraiya-kun is learning from her to use paper. His Rinnegan is a little haywire as well, but nothing Kyuubi can't help with." "You?" Itachi asked. "I'm fine. Royally pissed at the village, but fine." "Where is Haku now?" Itachi asked. Naruto smiled with Gaara. "Temari insisted that Gaara visits. Mizo won't go without him, and Kyuubi didn't know Mizo was afraid of Temari. But Suri and Gaara are afraid of Temari. Gaara just doesn't show it," Itachi noted. Naruto turned to the raven-haired man, a smile plastered across his face. "It's good to see you, my friend. Do you realize how old you sounded just then?" "Shut up. Anyway, Haku'll be happy to meet Ram. You guys should come over for a visit. Introduce Ram to Mizo and Haku and help me come up with ideas to get this damn seal off," Naruto said as he pointed to the mark on his arm, lifting his sleeve up beforehand. "You're the closets to a seal's master, I know." Itachi crouched down slightly to inspect the arm. A set of trigrams, 2 sets of 5-element seals, 3 containment seals, a high-level barrier seal on top of a negation swirl. However did this was a complete idiot with seals. "There's a timer on here as well, probably accidental. It's only a fluke that it's keeping your chakras sealed. They're lucking this could have created a barrier around you or sucked someone or something into your arm. Can you break it?" Naruto asked urgently. "Is AM good in bed? Do you really expect me to answer that?" "Nope, because if you did, it'd castrate you before unsealed you," Itachi replied, smirking. Naruto's face split into a grin before he replied cheekily. "Don't need it anyway. Just make sure I'm asleep when you do it and keep me sedated." Itachi looked up surprised to see the blonde with a raised eyebrow and a cocky grin. "Very funny," the raven responded. "Now hold still." Naruto clenched his teeth tight and braced his body ready for the impact, remembering the amount of pain he had felt when Jiraiya undid the seal on his stomach after the second stage of the Chunin exams. Itachi's hand glowed blue before he exclaimed. "Kai!" he shouted, slamming his hand onto Naruto's arm. The skin burned slightly, causing the blonde man to wince out in pain. The skin was sore for a minute before it went numb, then Naruto calmed down. Itachi took that as a sign to release, and when he removed his hand, he saw that the seal was gone, and all that was left was a bit of pink skin still suffering from the after effect of the seal's release. "Ah, that feels so much better," Naruto noted before Itachi placed his hands into a seal. Gathering chakra, the man preformed a henge, transforming him into a happier version of himself, with no marks on his face and shorter hair. "Doesn't anyone notice the henge?" Naruto asked as the two walked out of the alleyway and into the deserted street. Itachi shook his head. "Not with your method of henge. Remember the one you taught me?" "Oh yeah. The shape-shifting one. Warwick without the naked girl and with the control to whoever you change into," Naruto said, scratching his cheek. "So Ichiraku to see AM and Ram. Hey, is old man Tucci still around?" "Not anymore. Got a place in the land of waves. Huge business there. Apparently, people flock from miles on the islands just to taste the same food their hero ate when he was a young man. Is the bridge still up? Last I heard they were going to engrave your image into it. Namikage's orders." Naruto smiled brightly as he remembered who he had heard had turned out to be the Namikage. Inaris doing alright for himself then? Naruto asked about Tucha's best customer and the Namikage, the same kid Naruto had to beat over the head about being all depressed and hopeless. "That's fine. Getting married next month. So on the way as well." Itachi's face turned into a mighty smirk as they walked down the street. "Here comes the what?" yawned Naruto. And the Rakudame noodle name after me, Haku, Mizo, Naru and Ram Naruto said following the joke. Well at least a Naruto is a Rakudame of something Itachi mentioned. Naruto looked at him wide-eyed. Don't tell me you agree with them. Itachi was silent for a long time as they walked down the streets of Konoha. Finally, as soon as Naruto was about to give up, Itachi spoke. It would be nice to see you and have you around. We miss you. Even the Konoha 12 and most civilians. No one really expected your banishment to actually go through, except some people with 10-foot poles up their asses. Naruto frowned as he walked. Itachi, I swore to myself never to return here. I've already broken 3 promises in my lifetime. Don't make me break a fourth. The Raven inquisited. I swore never to become a Kage. Especially Hokage. I swore it when I left. But by keeping that promise you break an even longer one. The one you shouted towards the heavens about. Am told me and I quote I'll be Hokage one day. Dadabeo end quote. So whatever. That never was a real promise. Then why did you swear on the grave of the Sandai Meow'd one day become Hokage? Itachi inquisited. Naruto looked down depressed. Am told you that to her? He asked. Itachi nodded. She's my wife. She tells me everything, like I tell her everything. Something you know a lot about, Itachi said. It didn't take a lot to figure out what he was talking about. Him and Isaribi never kept anything from each other. It was something they just did. Something they felt they needed to do. It was how Isaribi knew all about Naruto and the Kyuubi. So, Naruto, which promise means more to you? Itachi asked as they neared Ichiraku, now a large establishment, calling into Am and Ram. 0000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000 after Sasuke left. Tsunade took the picture on one of those days she made and escaped from the office. Tsunade took the picture on one of those days she made an escape from the office. It was in front of Ichiraku Ramen, and Naruto had just coaxed Sakura into paying for the meal, something he never really paid her back for, even though she still had the IOU. Somewhere amongst her things. 10 years really seemed like a long time now to the pink-haired medic. Even longer than it is supposed to be. Naruto had changed so much, and he seemed much older than the blonde-haired idiot she knew when she was young. Now he was with a child and was not caring about any of them. Back in the old days, a family was probably the last thing on his mind, and he would kill for any single one of them. Even Neji and Sasuke. Such a contrast 10 years makes. Sakura didn't even think he would stop and think before slicing them up like he did with Choji, probably went soft on Choji, because Choji had been one of those in the hospital when Naruto had been banished and didn't know about it until months later. The light of the candle in front of her wavered until it suddenly blew out, leaving Sakura in the darkness. The pink-haired woman closed her eyes before giving off a long sigh and speaking up. Even after all this time you still haven't learned how to knock, bastard, she said. Sasuke nodded as he stood up against the wall behind her. We need to talk, he said. Talk? Sakura asked her, get into one of our fights again. Remember, Sasuke, we're teammates. I can't hate you, I can tolerate you, but I can dislike you intensely. Traitor. Sasuke frowned at her words. Sakura. With Naruto here we need to. The what, Uchiha? Sakura asked, venom escaping in her voice. Suddenly it was really hard to know who was the snake Sannin here. Convince him to stay. Beat him so he has to stay. Blackmail. Bribe. Sasuke, I know how you feel, but think about Naruto. You are not seriously thinking of letting him go, are you? Sasuke has moved on. No matter what we do, no matter where we go, no matter how strong we feel, we can't let him be forced into this, and we have to move on as well. Humming from one of the girls who waited 10 years alone for him. Sakura turned around, no one glared in the Uchiha's direction, her eyes a living hell. I am not a girl anymore. Sure, I waited, but I'm done waiting. No matter how much I love Naruto, I can't have him. He cast us aside because of what we did. And especially what you did. That's not fair. Neither is sitting by and doing nothing while Naruto is banished. Especially after he fought for you to spared. Remember the village laws. You didn't return to us of your own free will. You left us and didn't spare us a second glance. We had to tie you up and seal your chakra. I still remember that seal Naruto had from Jiraiya he put on you. You can't leave Konoha without permission or you'll just be teleported into that holding cell underground. Sasuke scowled at the memory and exactly where Naruto had placed the seal. The location made it incredibly hard for Seal's master to counter because they needed room to jab and without outside forces helping. Besides, they practically died of laughter at the location before they could unseal it. Sakura, think about this, he said softly. We can both have Naruto back. The 3 of us together, we could be a team again. Team 7. Sasuke, you just want. Her words were cut off by Sasuke pressing his lips together with hers. Sakura stood there in shock, unmoving until Sasuke broke the kiss. Then she slapped him across the face. Bastard. She exclaimed before turning on her heel and grabbed a kunai. Well, Sasuke recoiled. Sakura jabbed the kunai at his heart. You just want the two of us. Don't think I don't know, Sasuke. You may think you love us and we love you, but let me tell you this. Naruto and I will never be yours. He isn't in love with you. Neither am I, get it through your head. He hates you, and quite frankly am not so fond of you either. Now get out. Sasuke stood and walked briskly out the door. As soon as he was about to close it all the way, Sasuke spoke. I don't think. I know you love me. And soon he will again too. He then closed the door as the bed was sent flying towards him, snapping in half as it made impact. For the next hour Sakura raged in her room, continuously whipping her lips free from the remains of the kiss. Tears running down her face as she thought about how nice being Team 7 would be again and how bad she had F number kept up with it. 000000000000000. Mizo stared at Ram Ichiraku, who smiled at him and Haku like they were something amazing. Hi, I'm Ram Ichiraku. Ram? Mizo and Gaara asked in unison. It's short for Raymond, Itachi told them as he sat down next to Naruto. Raymond? You poor guy. Haku exclaimed, shocked at that. What? Ram asked, a bit offended. Is there anything wrong with my name or something? Is that what you're saying? Cause if that's what you're saying, I'll send you through the 7 bells of hell. Naruto decided to interject in this conversation. Ram. Haku-chan has an inherited allergy to ramen, he said. Eyebrows on the heads of Ram and Mizo rose. Haku can't eat ramen or he'll get sick. Don't worry, it'll be gone when Hess about 12. Gaara whispered into Naruto's ear. Is that true? He asked. Itachi leaned in to hear this as well. Well yeah, by the time Hess 12 all fish in him will be gone, so no allergy. I won't eat it though. Still, Haku exclaimed, having a name with something to do with ramen is weird. Before Mizo and Ram could respond by pouncing on the child, Gaara spoke up. But Haku, you are named after Ramen, so is your father. Remember, what we call you is only a nickname, Chibineru. Chibineru? Ram asked. Short for Chibi Naruto. Named after his daddy, Naruto said, smiling. That sounds so kawaii, Ram said slyly. Chibineru's eye twitched dangerously. Don't do that again, Ram, or I'll castrate you. The eyes turned to Naruto, who smacked his face. Haku, Hess too young to be castrated. Besides, you're not even supposed to know what that means. But you say that to Auntie Kayu, and the old lady threatened the duck-butt-headed man with it earlier on, Haku told his father. Uncle Sasuke-chan, Ram muttered. However, Naruto heard this and mentally kicked himself. In all the excitement he had forgotten that Itachi was Sasuke's older brother and they were both Uchihas despite Itachi's changing of his last name and probably his first name as well. This meant that Ram could have the Sharingan. Ram was the same height and age as Chibineru and Mizo, hopefully not born on the same day. Naruto prayed that the universe wasn't screwing with him. He had ebony black hair that was styled in heavy bangs, which nearly covered his eyes, and a large spiky ponytail round the top of his neck. His eyes were thankfully brown like AM's and didn't give him the complete appearance of an Uchiha, but did make him look like an ordinary child. Although Naruto didn't know it, it was Itachi's biggest fear that the child, his son, who obtained the Sharingan and not only reveal Itachi's survival and his life amongst the villagers, but also reveal that AM had helped him as he was still technically classed as a missing nin, and Ram's existence as an Uchiha, putting him in danger. Hey kids, how about you play in the bedroom, Itachi told them, only for Naruto to smack him over the head. Do you have any idea how perverted that sounded? What the hell were you thinking, Baka, saying that? Naruto asked as Gaara growled at the raven-haired man. I was saying to play cards or catch or something. Nothing like that, Uzumaki. Itachi roared. Haku looked between the two fuming adults but shrugged it off, grabbing the hands of Mizo and Ram. Come on, Kyubi, we'll need that stuff, he called back to his floating stuffed toy. Kyubi floated behind him until he was in the bedroom and they closed the door. Itachi leaned up against the wall of the cage suite in the hotel Gaara stayed at. I see Chibineru is fitting in alright. Naruto glowered at Itachi with an intense stare. Gaara looked in between them before speaking up. Tell me what is going on? He asked them, sensing the tension growing between the two men as they glared at each other. Itachi's begging me to stay, Naruto told Gaara in a matter-of-factly tone. Itachi stood up sharply before yelling his denial at the blonde and redhead. That's not true. I'm not begging. I just think it would be better for Haku to stay in Konoha away from having to travel all the time. Gaara looked at Naruto. Haku likes being on the road. He doesn't like staying in one place too long. Hess getting irritable already. He has friends in different villages and cities and even different countries. He has me and Kyubi P. Not to mention all the friends we've met on our journeys. Naruto. Gaara spoke as he too stood up. I don't think Itachi means this is all about Haku as you and him are stressing. If it was just that he knows he'd welcome you to Suna in a second flat. Demon Country and many others would welcome you with open arms. There he would have a place to stay and grow up. What Hess thinking about isn't Haku. Hess worried about you. Me? Naruto asked, shooting Itachi a look. Hi. Naruto, I think Itachi wants you to stay in Konoha and give them the benefit of the doubt. Gaara and Itachi had to cover their ears as Naruto yelled. Are you out of your freaking minds? He asked them. No wait. Don't answer that. I already know the answer. I refuse Gaara. Itachi, why the bloody hell would I want to stay here in Konoha? I hate it here. I'm a nomad now. If I rejoined Konoha I won't be in control anymore. And have you forgotten what these people have done to me? I haven't forgotten, Naruto, Itachi exclaimed. Think about the people who love you. Tsunade, Kao, Sakura, Tramp, Hinata, weak nobody. Naruto, you are being harsh. I've heard about what you did to Tsunade when you were being held, but I believe that if anyone you should have spit on Sasuke. Gaara warned. Sakura and Hinata love you. It took everything they had to keep Hinata and Sakura from becoming missing nin and going after you. Sai, Niji, Tenten, Choji, Shikamaru, Ino, Shino, Kiba, Lee, Kakashi, Yamato and Tsunade all tried to leave to find you, but they were all stopped. Had I known I would have been there in a blink of the eye for you. Most of us would have gone for you, but for different reasons we were unable. Then explain the walk of shame I had to do outside the village. The only time people turned around were to throw rotten tomatoes at me. None of them were the Konoha 12. Choji, Ino, Tenten and Niji were hospitalized. Sakura was in the hospital working overtime. Hinata was with her clan. Tsunade had to do what she did because as the Hokage she was obligated to do that. The rest were unable to come. Naruto, the only reason why you were able to be brought back is because Shikamaru, Ino, Choji, Hinata, Shino, Kiba and some others are clan heads and are a major part of the council. They risked a lot to revoke the bill concerning your banishment, Itachi told him, having reached Konoha by the time Naruto was about to be banished. Naruto looked down and thought. Still I hate them. Granted spitting on Tsunade was over the top, even I have doubts about doing that. He looked away, she was right there and I felt so angry. I saw Sasuke's face and I lost it. I owe her an apology, but I will not join Konoha. I swore. Naruto, Itachi said sharply. Name all 3 instances where you broke your promises, he ordered. Naruto recoiled. A moment odd silence hung in the air before Naruto commenced with a telling of his failures to keep a promise. I promised I would bring Sasuke back. I promised I would never return to Konoha, granted that isn't my fault, and never to bring Haku anywhere near a leaf ninja, let alone the village. Itachi nodded before he spoke again. And like it or not, you're about to break another promise. Either the one to become Hokage. The one promise which you repeated to everyone and swore on the grave of the Sandaime and the name of Jiraiya, that's right, I heard about that too. Or the one where you never become a Kage. Naruto, either way a promise will be broken. Think about that. When I swore never to become a Kage I swore never to join the Leaf again. If I do fulfill my promise to Sandaime and Jiraiya I'll break that promise. And that makes 5 broken promises. I can't have that hanging over my head. Naruto, I remember Sakura telling me you swore to become Hokage to Isaribi 12 or so years ago. That Anko lady told me as well, Gaara said. Hokage meant the world to you. You never gave up. But look at you now. Bitter and alone, with only your son, the memory of a dead wife and the demon which live in your stomach for 18 years of your life. And you can't leave the Leaf now. Your identity as the son of the Yellow Flash of Konohagakure and the Scarlet Death of Yuzugakure has been established long before they sent out the search parties. A spy found the information when Tsunade revealed it. Odo's records from the time of Orochimaru confirm it. Iwa will not let it go, Naruto, Itachi warned. They will never stop hunting you. Your life will be spent looking over your shoulder, Gaara said, and they probably know about Haku. Do you really want the most bloodthirsty village since Kiri after the grandson of the Yellow Flash? Haku's life will forever be in danger unless you have Leaf. With Leaf they will leave you alone until they find someone they hate more than the Yellow Flash. That's right, Naruto. Leaf will fiercely protect the pair of you. The son of a Neo-Sanin. Heir to the Hiraishin no Jutsu. Grandson to the fabled Yellow Flash and Scarlet Death of Whirlpool. You are safer here than anywhere else in the world, Naruto scowled. The Yondaime is not my father, he insisted. Gaara sighed. I hear where you are coming from, Naruto, I really do. I do not consider the Yondaime Kazekage as my father. But no matter what I do he will always be my biological father. Remember, blood is thicker than water to the people of this village. The person I consider a father is not anyone from my village, but Baki comes close. Do you want to know who it is? I'm sure you were gonna tell me anyway, he stated. Gaara smiled and grasped Naruto's hand. Naruto, you are not only my best friend or my idol. You could be considered my father as you are closer to me than anyone other than Mitsuri or Mizo. We understand your hatred at the Yondaime, Naruto. But why not manipulate the village of Konoha by pretending you care? Then when this war is over you can just leave with Haku when this is all over. You can't lose. Can you predict how long it'll be until they win the war and how long after that Iwa will let it go? The war will just want them getting more revenge. Especially if I join in with it and we win. Gaara sighed before standing face to face with Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. I know this is asking a lot, but I beg of you. You are the only one I can trust. Don't do this for Konoha. Do it for its allies where there are people you do care about. Nami, Suna, Tori, Taki, Hashi, Suki, Yuki, Oni and the rest where there are people you have helped. Who care about you and who you really care about. No matter what you say I know that you do care about them. About us. Please Naruto just think about it. 0000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000 Tsunade made a mental note to herself not to go out because Shizune had noted she walked funny. Tsunade made a mental note to herself not to go out drinking and doing dirty things with Kyuubi on work nights. Okay, that sounded weird. Especially the part about her and Kyuubi. Shizune found it extremely funny how earlier this morning she had stumbled across a sleeping Hokage who was talking in her sleep. Kyuubi, don't do that, you did it last night. Oh okay then, there ah. Shizune had burst into a fit of giggles before Tsunade had woken up completely and found Shizune rolling on the ground, laughing with tears in her eyes, feeling left out and extremely confused. The slug Sanin just let it go so she could just get her hangover pills. Around midday when everything had begun to calm down something happened. Tsunade had been reading a report on the health of Choji Akimichi. The hefty man had made a miraculous full recovery over the past week and was oddly enough fully healed. The report said that Choji would be fit to go on missions as early as tomorrow. Tsunade had taken a sip of sake when her door burst open and Naruto came storming in. "Old lady. I've got something to say to you," he exclaimed loudly as Shizune made a beeline for the door, not wanting to interrupt but knowing she could eavesdrop on the conversation through the door. As soon as she was out Tsunade spoke up. "Naruto, save it for now Hokage. I have some things I need to tell you." Tsunade slowly nodded her head as she sat down. Naruto slammed his hands on her desk before speaking. "Hokage-sama. There are 3 things I need to tell you. Number 1. I am sorry I spat on your face the other week. I was angry and possibly am still angry at Konoha. I know my anger was misguided and when I looked at you I saw Danzo and Sasuke's faces. I hate them Tsunade-sama." Tsunade smiled before placing a hand over his. "Naruto, I want to tell you the second thing," he said with conviction and strength pilled up behind his words. "I want the fights between me and the Konoha 12 brought forward. Now that Choji is healthy you can bring in the fights. I want them by next week. I won't stay unless at least one of the Konoha 12 or anyone else of your choosing beats me. I want team battles as well. Ino Shikacho, Team Guy, Squad 8, Konohamaru Corps if you're having them in the battle, I know you're putting our Jonin senseis in. Kakashi, Kurenai, Yamato, Guy, I know you're putting in Anko and Shizune and anyone else. I want to fight Sasuke and Sakura to fight me in a Sanin free-for-all. If any single one can defeat me then I will stay. Capiche?" Tsunade smirked. "You won't go back on that?" she asked with an evil glint in her eye. "Aye," he responded. "But why do I feel like I've just been played?" he asked her. Tsunade sat on her revolving chair and twirled in it like a schoolgirl. "Oh nothing. Just I was planning on letting you go without the fights. I do care about you Naruto. I did this only because I want you to stay and be safe. Please don't tell me I blew my one chance of escape once again." He asked her. "You still haven't changed. You still jump into things. But don't forget. Even if I lose, and that's very unlikely, I won't become your Hokage. I'll just help out in the war. I won't permanently join Konoha. Just until things have calmed down and Haku is safe from Iwanin's looking for some payback." Tsunade remained quiet for quite some time. Naruto found the suspense nerve-wracking, just like you guys feel when I leave cliffhangers. Finally the blonde woman looked up and gave the blonde man a face-splitting smile. "That sounds satisfactory to me. Uzumaki-san." Naruto smiled before turning to leave. "I expect the fights to commence this weekend," he said, gaining an air of authority and confidence as he walked briskly to the door of the office. "They'll be ready. He'll give you a list of the combaters tomorrow." Naruto nodded his head, flashing a grin that Tsunade didn't see because he was facing towards the door to the office. Suddenly Tsunade stood up and slammed her hand on her desk. "Wait, you didn't tell me the third thing you wanted to say. If I lose then I'll tell you," he said, ducking through the door and making his way away from the Hokage's office. Okay. Gaara and Itachi have put Naruto on a guilt trip and raised some good issues. If Naruto loses then he can assure Heike safety in Konoha. Remember Iwa is out for his blood and the blood of his son, more specifically the blood of Minato Namikaze, you get what I mean. But just because Naruto and Haku might stay, doesn't mean they'll be nice to the people of Konoha. I'm still debating on whether or not to pair Naruto with Shion and live there with her. Come on people, don't you think Isaribi would have wanted him to move on and find new love? If you don't then you guys are heartless and don't understand what loving a person means. I know Naruto sounds like an idiot here, but hey, he still is Naruto. His hot-headedness and disorder for jumping in without thinking is one of the reasons we all like him. 0000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000w. The Hagik shivered as he looked on the list. Oh, this is perfect. First match is the Ino Shikacho trio. I owe Ino a little payback for selling out my jutsus to Sasuke, said as Haku shrugged at his father's actions and looked at Tsunade. So I hear you and Auntie Kayu screwed on your first date. The 5-year-old said as if it were nothing important, returning to drinking soda from a straw as Tsunade yelled. Who told you that? She asked thunderstruck. I saw you in the street. That and there are rumors flying around, he told her. Tsunade cracked her knuckles. Haku, your Oba-chan is going to take you out into town and you are going to tell me exactly who you heard those rumors off. If you're a good boy, he'll let you pound a few into the ground. Sound like fun? She asked him. Haku turned his head to his father, who didn't look up from the paper he was ready. To-san. Why don't we come here more often? Ba-chan lets me beat people up. Oh, Ba-chan, can we throw some into the mountain with all those faces of ugly men and you in it? Naruto, I love your son. Naruto continued to scan the list Tsunade had given him. First round, Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akimichi. Second round, Rock Lee, Niji Hyuga, Rock Tenten. Third round, Kurenai Yuuhi, Anko Yamino, Shizune Haddock. Fourth round, Ini Saratobi, Yamato, Sai Yamanaka. Fifth round, Hiba Inyazuka, Hinata Hyuga, Shino Aburum. Sixth round, Like I, Hiroki Yamino, Kakashi Haddock. Seventh round, Inohamaru Saratobi, Mogi, Yuden. Eighth round, Sand Battle Free for All. This is so great, Naruto exclaimed. Ino is going to rue the day she went inside my head, he announced. Tsunade turned towards Haku, who did the same with her. Ba-chan, why does Toussaint want to demolish this Ino guy? Haku-chan. Ino is a girl. She's the blonde lady with her hair in a ponytail, dressed in purple. She married to the pale man with black hair and a paintbrush. Haku inclined his head slightly. I thought that lady was a drag queen and the pale man was a girl he was selling as a prostitute. Naruto, what have you been teaching this kid? Tsunade roared. Blame Kyuubi. Toussaint, you always say that. When you blew up that mountain you said blame Kyuubi. When you killed the last Mizukage you said Auntie Kayu did it. What about the time? Naruto shoved his hand in front of Heika's mouth, silencing the boy as Tsunade cracked her knuckles. Thanks for watching.